Lately, the whole world has been talking about IT and the internet and how advanced it's getting. It seems like it's making the world an easier place to live in.
IT and the internet become advanced. First thing they create, robot boobs.
Of course! Of course! Why is that even a question? Are you joking?
Whenever I sang my songs on the stage on my own, whenever I said my words, wishing they would be heard, I saw you smiling at me. Was it real or just my fantasy? You'd always be there in the corner of this tiny little bar.
Hello and welcome to Cover by Cover. I'm a disgraceful letdown.
And I'm his mom.
This week we're headed back to the girl, guy, forced situation genre. You know, the whole oh my goddess thing. For another show that's even weirder than last time.
That's right. By the divine grace and providence of Crispin Freeman.
Wait, stop. He's in this show too?
Yeah, I thought you already knew that.
We can't do this every week, Joe.
First off, it's JT. Second off, do what?
We can't have you running roughshod over this show, picking Crispin Freeman shows every single time. We gotta have some fucking variety at some point.
Dude, it's not my fault that Crispin Freeman is my favorite anime.
What do you mean it's not your fault? You'd suck the guy off if he was standing right in front of you right now. You're a fucking fanboy piece of shit.
No, hold on! Now, I've been joking, having fun. I'm trying to make things a little more lighthearted here. But don't you dare call me a fanboy.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying, this is getting ridiculous. There are other great voice actors, you know? I mean...
Name one.
Chobits, alright? It's Chobits.
Chobits was originally a manga that was adapted into an anime, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that how most of these things originate? I'm so sick of describing anime this way. Anyway, what I really want to talk about here is the controversy surrounding the show and just how much it pisses me off. Chobits has been, shock of shocks, decried as being sexist by American anime critics at, where else, Anime News Network.
You know, Will and I have been accused of being sexist in the past, on this very show. And, for fuck's sake, we very well might be, based on the rationale and inconsistent criticisms leveled on Chobits that don't make any damn sense to us.
Oh, but don't worry. We'll run them down for you.
First up on the Only Women Know Women wheel is Shannon Garrity of Anime News Network, who said, "The Persicoms are perfect women, stripped clean of everything that makes real women less than perfect servants to men. That is, one might say, everything that makes women human." Well, might that very well be because they're not human women? If you're questioning the character design, then you have to consider the fact that in most of the situations presented in the show, that is not being enfranchised or encouraged. The anime has been highly praised for the second half of the series, where these very practices are called into question. Well, you can't hardly have a philosophical quandary if you don't first set up a problematic situation. I honestly don't know what there is to legitimately criticize here. You're literally talking about an entire genre that is not exclusively tied to this show.
Our second quote is in relation to the main Chobit character, Chi, from Aaron at Gagging on Sexism. Oh great, this should be fun. She says, Chi copies what she sees in Hideki's porn magazines and more. Oh, did I mention Chi is supposed to resemble a 15 or 16-year-old girl? In short, there's a lot of cringeworthy content halfway through the series. Well, fair point. However, what I take issue with is Miss Erin's decidedly more lenient treatment of Gurren Lagann, saying that she, quote, has hopes for the female protagonists, actually engaging the show on its own level, while sticking with this derogatory meta-criticism for Chobits. Well, as a matter of narrative fact, Yoko's character exists as nothing more than a construct of fan service and the occasional plot device for Gurren Lagann. That's it. You know, I'm pretty sure that qualifies her as being even less human than Chi in terms of narrative execution. Not only that, but by the admission of the show's creators over at Gainax, Yoko is 14. Yes. 14. So every time you look at her and think, damn, you're one step closer to hard time. Not gagging on much sexism there, are you, Aaron?
The point we're trying to make is this. If you're going to criticize sexism, be fucking consistent about it.
Yeah. Now, don't get us wrong. We're not here to defend fan service because, well, frankly, I personally think that it's a plague on good storytelling. But what pisses me off is when people only cry sexism against fan service when they feel like it, or when everyone else is already piling on. And besides, if you're gonna go hard on Chobits, why go light on a blunt-ass object like Gurren Lagann?
Well, I think it's time to see how much female denigration we can dig up on this show. Probably none. Because I'm a sexist pig. And I do love me some 14-year-olds.
This is Chobits!
So we start off in rural Wisconsin, where
My name is Hideki Motosua. I'll be turning 19 this year. Right now, I'm still 18.
Dude! Crispin Freeman lives in Wisconsin! He's probably up in Rhinelander right now!
Shut the fuck up! No. Fucking no.
I hope you like this never-ending inner monologue, because it literally never ends.
That's it! I'm going to prep school. I'll study hard and make sure that I get into college next year. That's right. If I'm going to go, I'll go to Tokyo. I'm finally here. Tokyo really is a busy city, just like I thought. In the small town where I come from out in the country, no one has a computer like this.
Unless there's another conversation going on, Hideki is either talking out loud perpetually or talking internally perpetually. To the point where I'm already almost sick of Crispin Freeman.
Take it back! Take it back! Nope.
Come on, please!
So Hideki here wants to go to college in Tokyo, but his application gets denied. However, because he apparently doesn't understand the nature of colleges and thinks that it's just spurning his initial advances, he just straight up moves to Tokyo. With no whiff of a job and no money. Great decision making, farm boy.
Yeah, who is gonna take care of that farm while he's gone? Are all those cows just gonna devour everything and then drop over dead? Are there chickens? Did he just seriously abandon a $200,000 plot of land to move to Tokyo as a broke college student? With no actual college to attend? What the hell is going on here?
Robot boobs. That's what.
They're so nice. They're so cool. I want one. I really want one. Oh. Are you kidding? There's no way I could afford one!
It must be some kind of performance.
Man, that was embarrassing. I've really got to stop talking to myself in public.
Okay, if you say so. Let's see how long this lasts.
computer! I want to send email too! And more than anything, I want to see those internet porn sites!
Porn sites?
Yeah. Remember when this same thing happened? Like 2 minutes ago? Ringing any bells? No?
Also, I mean, come on. I know he's really awkward because all male protagonists are in these shows, but who screams about porn in public? I mean, aside from Eddie Izzard.
You must be Hideki Motosuwa.
Yes.
My name is Chitose Hibiya. I'm the manager of this building.
Hey, why does she have dead soulless eyes while Hideki has normal ones?
Well, I think it's a subtle commentary on the soullessness of Japanese women.
You see, the fact that her eyes are about to fall off her head represents the disdain that every Japanese woman has for everything besides housework.
Deep.
She said that she lives in apartment 101. Who knew I would end up living in a place right above a pretty girl like her?
So,
Congratulations on your new apartment!
Hey, we haven't been introduced yet. I'm Hiro Mushinbo.
Yeah, these walls are pretty thin. I heard you talking to the walls. Or yourself. I'm actually concerned for your mental well-being. Just don't ever knock on my door, okay?
Don't you have a mobile persicom?
I wish. I haven't got a persicom at all.
You're kidding. That's kind of weird. I can get my phone calls, go on the internet, and get all my email.
Really? The internet too?
Oh, yeah. And porno sites, too, of course.
Really? It can even access porno sites?
Come on. Porno sites are the basics.
So you can do everything with it?
Okay. I need you to look me in the eye and tell me that no one fucks a persicom. No? Okay, well, at least not one that tiny. I mean, the thing is smaller than a baby. I'm begging you.
Despite how pervertedly obsessed these guys are with porn sites, they somehow never get the inkling to do anything sexual with their female robots that don't have enough human intelligence to understand consent. Yeah, I buy that. Dick, balls, and scrotum.
So after Hideki furiously masturbates with Shimbo for approximately 7 hours, he gets a bit hungry and heads out for some dinner. But on the way back...
Oh my god, it's a dead body! What am I gonna do? It must be a murder! I can't believe it. My first day in Tokyo, and here I am at the scene of a crime. What should I do? Okay, don't panic. Let's see. First, I should call the police. Or maybe I should call an ambulance. She has those ears. They're just like the ears I saw in the window at the electronics store. Well, I gotta get back to my apartment and get organized.
Okay, fine. You know what? I'm convinced that there was no scripted dialogue for Hideki's character. They just played the episode on a monitor and had Crispin Freeman describe what was happening on screen. It's the only explanation.
So naturally, Hideki realizes that he can't let a good Veggie go to waste and carries the apparently gargantuan Persicon up to his apartment, unfortunately leaving behind a clearly plot-relevant computer disk. After much flailing about trying to activate her, Hideki finally figures it out.
I've pushed every inch of this computer I can find! Everywhere! Except...
I'm sorry, can I get that face framed? He's like, God save me from the Robo-Gina!
So yes, you guessed it, the Persicom's on switch is in her Vagoo.
Why would she be designed like this? What is the utility in putting it there? So that she couldn't be fucked by a would-be pervert? I mean, I guess, but couldn't you solve that by, I don't know, not giving her a body cavity? It's just so perverted and stupid.
So after some hijinks involving Shimbo being disturbingly persistent about taking Hideki to a gay bathhouse, he settles in for the night, and as Chi embraces him as her master, the episode ends.
Yeah, it's pretty great so far, isn't it?
So if we excerpt the fan service and hijinks from the next episode, it's actually fairly brief. Basically, Hideki wants to figure out what the deal is with Chi. Shimbo tries to help him, but...
Wait, what's the matter with her? She's gone crazy!
Oh no. Now there's no one to smack a marimba against her ass while dancing on Hideki's face. How will I go on living?
Shimbo gives Hideki the address of a guy who designs his own persicoms, and once Chi has some clothes from his cute neighbor, they head on over.
Excuse me?
Don't get a nosebleed over just a few persicoms. You must be Hideki Motosuwa.
Yeah. And you're?
I'm Minoru Kokubunji.
This is just so bizarre. But it brings up two sides to sexism that I want to address. The only male characters that exist in this show so far are Hideki and Shimbo, who are both positively obsessed with porn, and now Minoru, who dresses his persicoms up like slutty maids. While this is ridiculously objectifying for the female robots, or something, there's another side to this thing, which is just how sexist this representation of men is. Every male character in this show is an indisputable pervert. Regardless of how it's expressed, every male character so far is a sexually repressed fap addict, and from how Minoru dresses his women, it's apparently from birth. Well, if we're gonna get all serious and decry the representation of women in this show, then you need to also take a step back and acknowledge how grossly offensive this representation of men is, implying by aggregate that all men are depraved, sex-starved perverts. And if you can't do that, if your knee-jerk response is, well, that's how all men really are, then you are in no position to ever cry sexism about anything. Because that's just as much an ignorant, offensive generalization as the ones being argued against by Aaron and Shannon. QED.
Agreed, but in terms of what the show is presenting here, this is one of those circumstances that is set up to later be questioned ethically. Minoru here burns through 4 of his persicoms trying to copy Chi's robot brain for analysis without blinking an eye. He could not care less. But when his personally custom-built persicom almost crashes trying to do the same thing, he leaps in and stops her. There's both a commentary about the nature of how we see people in general versus the ones we care about, and just how callous Minoru is towards persicoms in general because they're not people. But again, if you don't include this in the show because it's sexist or whatever, then you don't have something to pay off later, a behavior to dispute or debate. So aside from the fan service and over-sexualized design of Chi's model that can't be defended, I don't see where all the criticism comes from in terms of how the persicoms in general are built as character models. They're a philosophical device that breeds commentary. I just end up feeling like, because they're women, everyone everywhere feels obligated to cry sexism, whereas the male perspective that Will was articulating is never even considered or mentioned. It just loses impact when everything involving female characters is sexist, or when everything involving people of different races is racist. Maybe save it for the actually serious cases, yeah?
So, with some intrigue raised about Chi and some interesting philosophical questions in the works, Hideki resolves to buy Chi some underwear and the episode ends.
I don't think there's any question in anybody's mind. I will definitely continue watching Chobits, but what about you, Will?
Well, stop it. I guess it's kinda hard to say.
Much like Oh My Goddess, this show is really not my taste. Every single one of these things has the exact same setup. Some awkward guy who has no idea how to deal with women gets forced into some fish out of water situation, which is then complicated by the fact that he now has an attractive woman launched into his life who will probably be with him for life. Like I said last time, it's unrealistic, silly, and the epitome of schmaltz. It's like the Japanese equivalent of our romantic comedy, where it's the same awful story every damn time, but women for some reason love the terrible, demeaning stories anyway. I can say, though, that it seems like this show is at least trying to explore a different area of thought, and might be taking its story in a different direction than most. And so I think I would keep watching past this point, but I can't guarantee I'd make it through the whole show.
As for me, I love this type of show. It's cute, lighthearted, and never very serious. This show also does ask some interesting philosophical questions about humanity, which is another dimension that's not often found in these shows, so at least that's something novel in addition to the silly fan service and sophomoric hijinks. But the lightheartedness of the show is why I don't understand all the serious, weighty, sexist criticism. No one is looking at this show and going, "Yep, that's what real-life women are like." And if someone looks at it and says, "Yeah, wouldn't it be great if real women were like that?" then frankly, they probably already thought that. When it comes to missing the point, I think Colin Firth said it best. I always thought the biggest failing of Americans was their lack of irony. Sometimes we have a bad tendency of taking things way too seriously and projecting things onto what is, at its heart, just a fun cotton candy adventure. So lighten up, eh, chaps?
Well, I will try. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week on Cover by Cover. I'm Will Ryan.
And I'm JT Camp, reminding you, a woman's on switches between her legs. Heyo!
Okay, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know.
With that look on your face, as if you're never hurt, as if you're never down. Oh, shall I be the one for you, who pinches you softly but sure? If a frown is shown, then I will know that you are no dreamer.
Joe and the rape jokes.
No, it's comedy.
Joe the rapist wannabe. Tuesday nights on NBC.